Barcelona. But again, you're looking at players and you're looking at situations, both interestingly mirroring each other's formations.
It's a full mirror.
It's a full mirror in terms of 3-5-2. And of course, if you know your football at home, or if you have a complete no clue about football, you'll know that 3-5-2, an incredibly attacking formation, which gives you a lot of opportunities to get forward, as we'll see.
And to have the midfielders reaching the box.
Absolutely, and they will also try and take possession as king here, as Jadon Sancho intercepts a pass. Ball is taken away, free kick given, so as we see it, it is Spain going from left to right as Barcelona, and it is Manchester United and Brazil from right to left, as we see. A short free kick taken here is Casemiro.
Light shirts for Brazil, dark shirts for Spain.
Indeed. If you are the keeping score at home, that is the colours of the kits you're looking at on your screen. Here is Bruno Fernandes. Lovely lofted through ball. And Ronaldo was onside, but the header just didn't have enough on it to trouble the goalkeeper.
But I love that pass.
Oh, yeah, the scoop. The scoop is a very nice looking pass, and when it's used to great effect, and it's used to score as well. It's
we didn't saw it used a lot.
We haven't seen it. I think we've seen one goal. I think it is over the course of the days. A brilliant double touch from Marcus Rashford. Araujo takes him down. Nothing given.
Whoa, that was risky. That was really risky.
But at this point in the competition, Felipe, how much do you risk? You've got to risk a lot now.
Risk.
You've got to go for it.
Yeah, I agree.
It is now or never. And to set the tone in game one, as we've said, in these best of three situations, it's always good to get yourself in front and get the first game, because it just provides that cushion if you're going into game two. Here is Ansu Fati. On towards Pedri. Pedri looking through the line here. Looks for Robert Lewandowski, who is onside. Looks to be into the corner. If you can imagine what is happening behind the Brazilian screen there, it would have been Lewandowski just trying to open up some passing lanes. It's Sergio Busquets. Pedri to Ansu Fati in towards Memphis Depay. Depay takes the double touch across to Ansu Fati. Ansu Fati, can he get the ball into the box? He's going to go alone! It's Ansu Fati who opens the scoring, and it is 1-0 for Spain.
We saw on the earlier match that Jose did this with Ansu Fati, but he couldn't complete it. In this time, he did. So he asked for the pass. Everybody is waiting for the cross. Will it come now? No, later. Will it come now? No, it will never come. It changed the leg, and right to the net it goes. Jose scores his first goal. He wants to go to the finals. Spain 1. Brazil 0.
It was really high-level gameplay of eFootball there, understanding the situation that you have. We were obviously saying, is the cross going to go in? If you know that the cross isn't on, Jose is the type of player, and Spain are the types of players that will not force that ball. Instead, if they have an option to shoot, they will go alone. And it was brilliantly done there by Ansu Fati.
And I think that the surprise element was also very important. I think that even the Brazilian player was expecting the cross. The cross never arrived, and what it did arrive was his first goal. So Spain is ahead on the marker, and here comes Dembélé.
Yes, Dembélé pulls a shot wide, and again, early going, early signs, early feel of the game. Of course, we're not inside the room with the two players, but normally you get like an aura or a sense of this, but it almost feels like Jose is essentially trying to take a hold of this game. 20 minutes gone here, as we say in these high-level games of eFootball. This time will go very quickly. It's not. We haven't adjusted the time at home, folks.
No.
We haven't put 5-minute halves on. This is 10-minute halves, but they will go very quickly, as we see Ronaldo looking to try and get the ball through, but Jules Koundé will take that one clear.
And the thing is, as they don't stop the match so much, that's why it goes faster. And here it comes once again, Jose. Let's see. It's for the pie. What happens? Varane.
Yeah, brilliant.
Crashes the ball. Eriksen. He's coming in the middle. Now goes Brazil. Let's see if he can arrange his player going for the equalizer.
Sancho in towards Ronaldo. And it's blocked away by Koundé. It's back towards Casemiro.
Good cut by De Jong.
Will block that away. Really good play from De Jong. And again, you can just see that almost stereotypical game. He's onside. He's been played onside in the middle. Robert Lewandowski in towards Memphis Depay. Has players. This is a brilliant roulette. Great manual save. What a great piece of play, both attacking and defensively.
I love that.
Brilliant pieces of play.
I love that. Using the roulette for something useful, getting rid of the defender and kicking into the goal. So I want to say hi to our friends at Birmingham watching the match live.
I tell you what, they'll be slightly sleepy at 4 a.m. in the morning if they are watching this. But if you are up in the Midlands or in the UK or even mainland Europe, you're in for a real treat here. As Pedri looks to drive the point to box, he had 2 players open. It's a vital interception there from Manchester United and from Brazil. And as a result now, attack will lead from that defence. Tackle is on. Play on is given. Bruno Fernandes has players in the middle. One of them is Cristiano Ronaldo. Goes the cheeky back heel finish. Doesn't quite come off, but
that was nice.
It's very nice. It's aesthetically pleasing. Unfortunately, it does not find the back of the net.
It didn't. Spain is ahead on the marker for just 1 goal. 3 kicks to 2. And here we come again. Brazil with the white shirt, Spain with the dark shirts, Brazil with Manchester United, Spain with Barcelona. And here we come, Brazil. Cristiano Ronaldo.
Big save there. And it's away again. So again, Spain, similarly to what we saw against the UAE, get their first goal, and now they're hanging on a little bit in this game, but they're trying to just make things work. But Brazil starting to grow into this game. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, neat little step over, takes it, looks to try and maybe play the ball in. It's all those super cancels and fakes. It just tries to bait the defender.
Was tired.
No, but unfortunately,
another loss.
There, error
another
there.
win. Another loss.
Here's Wan-Bissaka, Sancho, Ronaldo looking for him.
So great defending from Brazil. A little bit troubled from Spain, a little bit troubled with some errors, but first half is done. It's 1-0 for Spain. He had more of the opportunities. On the latest minute, Brazil was trying to get to an equalizer. He didn't get it. So right now, let's see what happens. They are changing from man marking.
Yeah, there's some good
arranging
things to look out for here.
What to do.
Yeah, you can
tactics.
See there's lots of changes that have just been made there. Just interestingly enough, you just see the little changes that have been made. We're just waiting to see what else is happening here. Of course, we're not in the room with these players, so
no,
again,
of course,
we're just trying to make sure that sporting integrity is. It's just it makes sure that everything is right in terms of how we're going. Of course, it's good to see that everybody is kind of ready and waiting now to get back onto the field after half-time. As you can see, 56% possession to Spain, 44 to Brazil. Not a lot of chance. Well, there's not been a lot of chances in terms of shots on target. And in terms of what we are seeing, there's not a lot of chances at all. So, again, in these high-level games of eFootball, the margins for error are so minute that you have to take hold of everything.
Very slim. So, this is the halftime. 56% possession for Barcelona, 45% for Manchester United.
And we are off and running once more as Brazil will look to get themselves a goal and equalise and maybe take this to a penalty shootout. Or will it be Spain strengthening the lead and taking game 1 all to themselves? We are about to find out. Here is Ousmane Dembele. Rashford takes it away from him. Here's Casemiro on towards Marcus Rashford. Rashford looking forward. What can he do here? Rashford, step over. Tries to just bait the defender, and he has done. He's took the pressure away. He's got Bruno Fernandes back-heeled. What a finish that is! That is the type of skill that you will only see from a player from Brazil. Beautiful back heel, first-time strike, wonderful goal. And again, it all came from baiting the defender. If you can bait the defender, you can beat the press. Once you beat the press, you have avenues to go and play football. Wonderful finish. You can see it here. Double team there just on the wing. Gets drawn out. As a result, Bruno Fernandes moves into the middle, has the space to the back heel, and Rashford finds a brilliant finish.
And this movie, it was already seen in Spain. He was winning. He was comfortable with the result. Perhaps he was a little bit on the relaxed side, and that's a toll that you pay. With this equalizer, things start all over again. It's Brazil 1, Spain 1.
They certainly do. Here's Kounde. And a line to Dembele. Spain now have to respond once more. And Brazil might have the impetus now to go and take on the game. But they are going to be having fun here to try and sort this out as Ansu Fati wins the ball back very close in double touch, takes the controlled shot, and it does hit the defender and off it goes.
Find. Oh, and now he recovers the ball.
So good at recovering the ball are Spain. Jose, a little bit of a master of pressuring a defender or pressuring a player once he's lost possession. He'll need all of those powers of persuasion as he sees Rashford looking into the box and flashed across goal. If Bruno Fernandes had just moved in there,
but
Brazil may have looked at 2-1.
It was very difficult for Jose/Barcelona to control this attack. Brazil could make passings at will, and he would just perhaps rushed a little bit because when the crossing nobody was there in order to shoot to the goal.
Yeah, absolutely, and that in itself, it's that small margin of error. If that has a player who's slightly further forward at the back post, it's 2-1 to Brazil, changes the complexion of the game completely. However, we are still at 1-1. We are 60 minutes gone here. We're round about the magical time where you would see players make substitutions and bring on fresh legs and maybe try and unseat an opposition. But at the moment, nobody has blinked. Nobody has elected to pause. As we see Ronaldo in towards Rashford, is cleared away up towards Robert Lewandowski, and
Barcelona
wins it back.
Barcelona is one of those teams that need a lot of substitutions, you know?
They certainly do, because they play high pressure, they play high octane football. So as a result, you need to make sure you have fresh legs. For me personally, the way that I would normally do these types of substitutions is replace the spine of your team. So maybe take a forward off, take a centre midfielder off, take a defensive centre midfielder off, replace a defender. And then at least then, given what you may come up against, you'll have fresh legs. Wonderful touch there from Lewandowski. Here's Depay, blocked off.
Why didn't he shoot with Depay?
Well, that's we only can guess at these players, because sometimes these players do things that, again, in the coldness of what we're looking at, we can see this. In the heat of battle, the fog comes down.
It may be that he knows that it's not the one with the greatest shot of them all, but when you have that situation, well, let's see. So Ansu Fati is coming out, Rafinha is coming in. Whoa. Yes. It was one of the best players in the match, Ansu Fati, but for sure he will be tired.
Interestingly, Robert Lewandowski has gone off and Ferran Torres has come on.
Whoa.
So in terms of what you think game plan wise, it's now gone from being, well, let's not use strength, let's not use a pivot point, let's now use speed. Let's use speed, try and get round a very, I would say, tired backline between Rafael Varane and Harry Maguire.
Yeah.
As we know from uniform stats, stamina can sometimes play an issue with these players because they're not quite the same stamina level that would normally have.
Gavi is in and Dembele is out. These are the three modifications.
And also, not to forget, there's a free kick here in relative dangerous position. Please don't forget about the locking of trajectory. It will cause a problem. It will make players think, where is the strike going? As you can see, manual goalkeeper already in effect. Will the pass be on short or will it be a shot? We'll find out now. Here we go. We're going to see here, it's Ferran Torres. Torres goes short. He's got a man up the top, and he's found Pedri, who's found Rafinha. Rafinha goes to the control shot. Good save from De Gea. It was an idea, but it was slightly too much. There was also a better pass on if he went further up there. Brazil, sadly, beg your pardon, Spain, had they gone up, there would have been a little bit more of an opportunity there. But block on here. Here's Eriksen to Casemiro to Varane, and Brazil again have done well to get themselves back into the game, have done well to kind of settle themselves down. Again, if you are, these two players both have been involved in penalty shootouts, both will know what it kind of takes at this point. As Ronaldo finds himself onside, Kounde with a brilliant covering challenge. But if you were both sides here, again, as we say constantly, I don't think anybody wants to go to penalty shootouts in this environment.
No, but also I think the penalty shootouts helps you take the blame outside of you.
Maybe that may be the case, because you just go, well, the opponent guessed correctly, or I couldn't put it in the place that I wanted to put it, and instead now we see Barcelona on the attack, but Wan-Bissaka intercepts it, and It is back and forth gameplay here, folks. 15 in-game minutes left, plus a little bit of stoppage time. And you've got to think the nerves that these two players may just be under.
And they go by the ground.
Here's Gavi.
Everything keeps earthy.
Gavi's still with it. And Wyatt will take it away. So, again, it's getting down to that last chances of the game, as you normally say. Around about this time, you'll see 2 or 3 more situations where you might see something be able to be put forward. Here's Frankie de Jong. Here's Rafinha. On towards Memphis Depay. Depay to Sergio Busquets. And Sancho intercepts it. Now, coming back the other way, Ronaldo. We've seen late goals going across this tournament so far as Ronaldo picks the pocket of the defender. It's Rashford, double touch, takes the control shot. He's got lucky on the rebound, but the defender...
Do you know what? Perhaps Jose should know that he must be a little bit more generous. He's 2 kg and he can pay it with a not so nice surprise on the end of the match.
He can pay the ultimate eFootball price by potentially going 2 goals to 1 down if he's not careful. But also, as we mentioned at the start of this game and during the pre-match, both of these teams are attacking threats, and this may just prove to be one of them. It's Rafinha, Memphis Depay, onto Gavi, on towards Pedri, on towards Gavi. Oh, deflected wide. It's a corner.
Oh, it was almost an own goal.
Almost an own goal, but not quite. As we said already between the two of us, almost is never enough.
No, but it was really close.
It was really close. It's very good play from Barcelona, very good play from Spain. Jose will be looking to maybe try a couple of tricks. Can he find that last ingredient he needs to take this game away from Brazil? Meanwhile, of course, if this ball does get cleared, be careful of the counter-attack as the ball goes into the box. That's from Ferran Torres. It's cleared away only as far as Frankie de Jong heads it back into danger. And instead, it's Marcus Rashford to lead it away. There's 2 minutes plus, well, 2 minutes plus that has been added onto time here. Marcus Rashford may be happy enough to just take penalties there, although there is a driven ball into the danger zone.
But someone is...
Sancho to Rashford. There's men over here. If Rashford can find one. Oh, it nearly went in. It was under smart feet.
He went
for the goal.
And now, perhaps the Spanish player is thinking, I should make 1 goal. I'm vulnerable, very vulnerable in the last minute.
There's 1 more chance here. 1 more chance. And you'll see here as well on the right-hand side. You'll see
everyone on the
everyone's
defense.
going back. This will probably be the last action of regulation. What
Yes.
interesting you see on the right-hand side of your screen, what we spoke about yesterday about players to join the attack. Both Harry Maguire and Rafael Varane will be up for this corner. The issue here is that not only have you got those two, you've also got the likes of Casemiro. You've got Ronaldo still in the field. There are aerial threats all around this box. All Brazil have to do is pick one out.
Yes.
Let's see if they can find that magical touch. We are in added time of overtime. Ball into the box from Christian Eriksen. Eriksen into the box. Ronaldo with the flick down. Memphis Depay will clear it, and that will be the last action of regulation, and we are going to penalties.
Penalties it is. Both of the teams were really cagey. They didn't risk much, neither of them. It may be because it's the first match, but you know, as these matches go to penalties, it's the same as if you won 3-0 or if you lose 3-0. Penalty kicks now.
Here we go, Memphis Depay. Here's that almost expected point for the goalkeeper. Depay hits the post, and that is a bit of a miss. The keeper had that covered as well. Brazil almost had that ability to know where that was going. Here's Ronaldo, steps up to take the strike, puts it down the middle. It's advantage Brazil.
Brazil in the white shirts, advanced, and also they kick in the second turn, which is kind of an advantage.
Ferran Torres, saved by the goalkeeper. That is either a miss or a save from Spain. So now Brazil can really press home this advantage. It's Marcus Rashford up against Inaki Peña. A save is just kept out of the goal.
He's still on the match.
He is still. There's only 1 penalty that's been scored so far, and that belongs to Manchester United players. Rafinha steps up, and it's down the middle, and it's saved.
Won't he convert even one?
Well, we will soon find out, as this is getting quite close to danger here as Jadon Sancho up against Inaki Peña. Good save again. This is...
What is happening
it's
here?
a clinic of penalty saves is
Do
what
we
we are
have
seeing
great
here.
goalies or do we have lousy kickers?
I think we have a mixture of guessing games and gamesmanship, as we're seeing. Frankie de Jong.
4
penalty misses, and
in a
this is a key penalty. If
Whoa.
Bruno Fernandes can tuck this away, this will lead to an opening game win for Brazil as Bruno steps up, he puts it down the middle.
And
Brazil take game 1.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. This is something a little bit unexpected, but you know, I don't want to say I told you so, but I told you so. If you don't attack, if you don't propose later on, you may be finally lamenting over this loss. The only way that you may be kind of sure that these things won't happen to you is if you play, if you attack,
Yep.
if you assure your own game. If you just let time pass, let time go by, it may happen like it happened.
Well, the question there is how much of it was Brazil's game plan being implemented that stopped Spain playing the way that they wanted to, or how much of it was Spain's level dipped? Because
I don't know.
you look at the kind of the body language of both players. You look at both players; they're both obviously intensely, involved in the game. You saw how much, as you mentioned, you pointed it out against the United Arab Emirates, the sit back and in the chair.
Yes.
You could see what effect it had on Jose, but as you can see from the highlights here, again, it was very high-level gaming of eFootball, wonderfully lob balling. Didn't quite have the header that went with the pass, but you can see here, again, in terms of the ball movement, again, if you are keeping notes at home, double touch that was there. And then it's round the corner here, double touch. And rather than play the pass, rather than not, you know it's not on, instead you play the controlled shot. This one here, again, was a pretty big opportunity. Again, you're just looking to... and it's a great manual save from Brazil that kept themselves in it.
And that was a great play.
It was a great play at both ends.
Sometimes the highlights serve as a reminder of how many times each player tried to make a goal.
Yeah, exactly. And it will show you the chances that were here. But this there, it's that move from Fernandes into space, allows the ball to come back. And
amazing goal.
It was a great goal indeed. And again, a bit of a manual save there just to move the keeper. Sometimes when you use manual goalkeepers or you take control of the goalkeepers, it's not always about making the save with them. Sometimes it's just moving the positioning to allow the goalkeeper to make that save.
To close the angle.
Yeah, exactly. And in terms of what we had late last minute, in terms of this, I would say you said it was a cross-come shot. I think it was a driven or a stunning cross.
Yes.
But the issue was it went far too close to keeper and it looked like a shot. And of course the penalties spoke for themselves. We had 4 red dots for Barcelona and for Spain.
You cannot miss 100% of your penalties.
Yeah, and the gamesmanship here is, folks, if you're watching at home, if you're moving the goalkeeper and you move him to one side of the goal, it's gamesmanship, because you can either you can either try and be too smart and try and put it into the opposite corner, and you're going to hope that the keeper can't get across to make the save, as we've just seen there. Or if you try and put it into the goalkeeper's side, the goalkeeper might just stand there and you still look foolish. So if you have the keeper in the center of the goal, it's actually a lot harder to make saves.
So this was really balanced.
Really
balanced.
balanced.
More interceptions in the Brazilian side. All the rest of the numbers are almost an exact mirror. So I think that for the second match, we can expect Jose to come forward, to go and look for the win.
Yep.
For surely he will have to risk more. He will have to go a little bit more forward on the field.
Yep.
Expecting the other player to make a mistake, I think, is not enough anymore.
Yeah, I think so. I think you've again, similarly what we saw in the first game for Spain, they have to make a response now. There has to be a response. There has to be, you've taken what you have played against and you've now worked against what it is. It's a very quick turnaround in games, as you've just seen. We've just about finished the penalty shootout, and mentally you have to pick yourself off the floor. But you're straight back into game 2, and that's where the pressure's on. So
exactly.
Again, if mistakes are going to be here, it's going to be thanks to, if mistakes are going to be here, it's going to be due to a forced error, not an unforced one. Here's Robert Lewandowski.
And I think this match would be way better than the match before, because for sure Jose, the Spanish guy with Barcelona, has to win. If not, he's out of the tournament. And on the other hand, Brazil can risk a little bit more. So he won't be so cagey, he won't be so controlled when coming to the attack, because he knows that a goal will get him really near the next stage.
Yeah, absolutely. And goals at this point, we said already throughout this tournament, goals are a premium. They're a premium currency here. They are something that you need. You know, you don't get by in tournaments by winning 0-0. Because by its definition, it's not a win. So you have to go and score. And of course, in being in this scenario of being either in or out, you're going to have to go for it. And again, you're going to have to sacrifice. You're going to have to maybe give something up defensively to allow yourself something offensively, as we see.
These are the matches we'll have. Barcelona starting to make some tries from the right. Let's see if Brazil can answer to that. And there it goes, Cristiano Ronaldo.
It's Dembele who's intercepted. I mean, and again, if you are just joining us, left to right is Brazil, right to left is Spain. You have Manchester United versus Barcelona. This is a best of three, and in terms of the rule set that we're working with, it is uniform stats. So again, if you see some rather odd substitutions by names you may not necessarily be familiar with, these guys will be. So we'll keep you across all of them, as Ansu Fati looks to make an inroad, but Wan-Bissaka will take it away. Here is Marcus Rashford. Rashford, neat little back heel through the legs of Frankie de Jong. Here's Christian Eriksen. Back to Rashford.
Good dribbling.
Good dribbling. Very good dribbling indeed. Here's Eriksen. Will he get the ball into the box? He will. It's a driven, stunning cross across the box, and it's cleared away by
That
Wade.
was a neat opportunity. Going to the right, looking for the end of the field, the pitch, and having the crossing, the aerial crossing.
Absolutely indeed. Here is Pedri. Here is Depay. Frankie de Jong. Just tried to be slid through to Lewandowski. The ball goes back to the keeper. It was charged down and judged to be a little bit too aggressive by Robert Lewandowski. And again, as a reminder for those who may or may not just be waking up, or, you know, again, looking at time differences, you may just be waking up to watch this. You may be going to dinner. You may be going to lunch. Spain have to win this game to stay in the competition. That is the brass taxes of it. But Robert Lewandowski has broken through with his physicality. Lewandowski just tried to get through, and he will go for a corner. Lewandowski realised he was going to lose that foot race, and he wanted help, but instead he met a Manchester United defender. Here is Ousmane Dembele.
Here comes Spain. Look at the cheeks. Look at Jose's cheek. He's blowing.
Yeah, he really is. He's feeling it at the moment. Here's Frankie de Jong. Goes for the long-range curler. We haven't seen too many of those in eFootball over the course of the World Esports Championships here in Bali. But sometimes it does call for it, those types of opportunities. Here is de Jong.
And Brazil, on the other hand, has no rush.
Well, they know they've got at least another game if they need it. Spain, on the other hand, know they haven't got that luxury. This ball goes back to David De Gea.
And I couldn't quite understand why doesn't Brazil risk. But that may explain why I'm not a professional player and he is.
Well, if you know that you've got a game in hand, you know that you can just try and, you can not necessarily try new things, but you know that you can wait for the absolute best opportunity. You don't have to go all out attack. You don't have to go out all guns blazing. Instead, actually, you can be a little bit more considered. You can be a little bit more. And
perhaps you speculate with the other players' need.
Yeah, and this is what I'm talking about in terms of when you're watching games, players taking each other out of their rhythms. So you're looking at it here as that Wan-Bissaka gets the ball back. Here's de Jong, though, who wins it back again. Ansu Fati has Lewandowski in the box. What can Lewandowski pull off here? What can Ansu Fati pull off here? Apologies, my commentary. I was thinking too far ahead. That's me as a player thinking, Lewandowski's in the box. We can get the ball in there. But looking at how this game is developing and evolving, we're looking at Brazil. we're looking at how they've started off the game, and they've not had that many chances. They haven't had to necessarily have those chances, and they haven't necessarily had to push the issue. I think that might change, though, if we see a goal from Spain early in the second half, or even not before the first half is over. Although we may just see a goal here as Bruno Fernandes, it's given away poorly to Pedri.
So you're watching here the loser bracket. One of these two guys will be able to recover from yesterday's loss.
Speaking of recovery, here's Pedri to Depay. Good save for the goalkeeper, and Lewandowski couldn't sweep it away. That's a half chance for Spain.
Yes,
and as you were rightly saying, one of these guys has got to go. One goes to the final, one goes out of the competition.
And it's just one half-time away for this match. This is the second match of a maximum of 3. The first one was won by Brazil in the penalty shootout. This one, it must be won by Spain, or if not, Brazil will advance to the next stage, and Jose from Spain, the professional player, will end his participation in this competition.
Yeah, and like I say, it's a shame that we have to lose one of these two, because both have provided so much entertainment for us to cast over, and so much entertainment for us to witness and see across the board here. And again, we are hoping to see more of the same in this game.
So here we come. This is the second half. The most important match of the day, the most important half of the day. Everything will be defined, that's the way you say it, will be defined in this half. Spain has the obligation to win this match, but
Ronaldo.
Here it comes, Brazil.
Can't get the ball across the box, though. It's a little bit fortunate to get that ball through in the first place. It took a ricochet or two, and he just managed to get his way through there. But again, in terms of e-football, you kind of have to make your own fortune sometimes. Here is Casemiro. Forward to Bruno Fernandes, but that'll be snuffed out. Here's Pedri, taking down the midfield, nothing given. Here's Sergi Busquets.
A big
Ansu Fati.
Big hug for the fans in the USA, especially my friend Antonio Leon. Thank you for watching us.
It's good to hear from the likes of Antonio. Again, a community almost icon, as it were, on that part of the world. But it's good to have people in watching and engaging in the chat. Of course, let us know who you're rooting for. Of course, we do have the main event stage coming up over the next couple of days, and that will be very interesting to see. And of course, we need to see who finishes that off here. And here's Bruno Fernandes, who might have something to say about who does. Sancho takes a double touch, looks to get the shot away. Oh, he bought himself time.
Yeah, but I think having the ball surprised him. He was thinking, I'm gonna lose it, I'm gonna lose it, I'm gonna lose it, and then he said, oh, I didn't lose it.
You could see you could see the teammate press that was engaged there, and you could also see the player press that was there. So there was double coverage, and yeah, you're quite right. I don't think they realised that ball was going to fall to them. I think they thought, that ball's going to end up at a Barcelona player's feet, and instead it ended up high, wide, and not very handsome. Here's Ousmane Dembele, brilliant little touch from the Frenchman. What can he do here? He's up against his compatriot Rafael Varane, and Bruno Fernandes will take that away. Here's Casemiro on towards Marcus Rashford. Rashford across the way to Jadon Sancho.
Some energy lacking in Barcelona. We can
bit.
feel that both players are tired, of course, are drained. This is like the very last effort and the most important one.
As Jose said to me a couple of days ago, it's not just the physical fatigue, it's the mental fatigue.
Yeah.
The focus and intense focus you've got to have here. Speaking of focus, Memphis Depay, it's a good save from the goalkeeper. But the focus that goes into esports across all of the disciplines that you would see at the World Esports Championships, the focus that it must take out of you, and I remember it well as well, you focus and you're engaged in what you're doing, it must take it out of you. Here is Christian Eriksen looking to roll it through, but Busquets will put a foot down and take that clear. But that must take an effect. Here is Christian Eriksen. Knocked away by Sergio Busquets. Busquets looking forward. Ansu Fati. What can he conjure up here for Jose? Lewandowski to Pedri. Pedri still with it. Dummies inside. Takes the shot. Blocked away. And as my co-colleague will tell you, that was massively an opportunity.
Yes, he's losing. He doesn't have much opportunities, and the ones he had, he couldn't even shot at targets.
It's good defending as well. So
yes,
not
of
only
course.
it's great attacking play.
Yes, of course.
It's great attacking play to get into those positions, but from a defensive point of view, it's even better to nullify those positions.
Yes. So Brazil does an invisible job of not letting Spain get the ball. So the only times that Barcelona has the ball in attack, it's never a clear situation. It's never a comfortable play. There's always someone there to cut the ball. There's always there to close the angles. There's always there to keep them offside. So great defending from Brazil. It might not be the most visually appealing. So we are not seeing here like crosses and kicks, but we are seeing an invisible job of making it uncomfortable for Spain.
Yeah, it's the game within the game. It's this tactical back and forth. It's, as we said, not all of these games that you will see will be goal-ridden, but they will still provide food for the soul, because you'll look at these games and you will think, this is a tactical battle, and this feels like it at the moment, because I don't know whether the tactic here from Brazil is to just try and maybe take it to a penalty shootout again, because they were so successful in game one with it. But that's a very dangerous ploy if that is the case, because you're giving all of the invites to Spain to say, come on, bring it on, we'll take the pressure.
But when you see that your opponent missed 4 penalties in a row, it's not a bad situation to force a penalty shootout once again. And you always have the third match in case you need it.
Absolutely, indeed you do, as the ball goes flying through and it's cleared away from danger. It's 15 minutes to go.
It's like Manchester United goalkeeper hadn't come into play in the whole match.
Yeah, it's one of those moments where it hasn't had to come out. Or he's made 1 or 2 saves as the United goalkeeper, but it just feels as though we're heading for another penalty shootout. Well, certainly if things stay the same, but the feel of the game, it doesn't feel as though there's somebody that's going to really kind of take this game by the scruff of the neck and say, look, this is my game. I'm hoping I'm wrong, of course, because from a broadcast standpoint, we'd love to see it as Lewandowski breaks in on goal. He's got Varane for company. Lewandowski takes a shot, saved. Wan-Bissaka will clear.
First time that the goalkeeper has some danger coming his way. It was a good shot. It was a power shot. He gave the rebound, but the defender was really, really where he needed to go to be in order to keep the ball away.
Yeah,
great defense.
Positioning on the defense there was very, very good. Again, we're so used to seeing kind of saved shots that get rebounded. We're so used to seeing them see the back of the net that in terms of what we've just seen there, it's almost the anomaly. We're so not used to it. But again, this is the level of eFootball that is on display here, as Wan-Bissaka will take that ball clear. Here's Bruno Fernandes, who's trying to give and go with him. Instead, Rafinha has given the ball back. It's Ferran Torres, double touch, looks for the one round the corner. Instead, it is cleared away. Again, time ticking away here. And all of a sudden, there's a little bit of room here for Brazil to kind of get forward, but there is nothing really there.
Much relegated. He has just one man on the attack. You cannot expect to make a goal.
Yes, indeed. There was a charge up for a driven or a stunning opportunity there, or at least a stunning pass, but that was a danger that was avoided. Here is Spain, and we're looking at 1 minute, 2 minutes at a time. We're into the first minute of those minutes.
He's not risking.
Anthony Elanga trying to get forward. Yeah, it doesn't feel like there was a risk element to it. And 0-0, which is a very rare one in eFootball, eSports.
Yes, because Jose didn't get his way through. He never got hold of the match. He had just one opportunity on the last part of the second half. It was a good shot.
And you can see there, one shot in total for Brazil.
Yes, Brazil didn't try at all. I don't know why.
Unless the game plan here is, as we said, if the game plan is to steer it towards a penalty shootout. Here's Anthony Martial. Martial takes the strike. Makes the save, though, does Barcelona.
See?
Penalties can be your friend or your enemy, depending on your viewpoint. Here is Ferran Torres. You see the pointing on again here. David De Gea looking to try and make the save. Ferran Torres, brilliant penalty, tucked away there.
First penalty. So now things changed. You know, we come from 4 missed penalties.
First one taken and first one put in, which is a great confidence boost if you are Spain. Here comes Brazil with Anthony Alanga. It's another save for Spain.
And now the tables have turned.
Now the tables turn. Again, if Barcelona could really take the driver's seat here, and Spain could really do with getting this penalty in. Here's Robert Lewandowski. Lewandowski steps up and scores.
It's 2-0.
2-0 to Spain in the penalty shootout.
Very good difference.
Here's Ronaldo up against Inaki Peña. Oh, roofed into the top of the net. That's the type of penalty you'll see from Ferreira. High and hard into the top of the net is Rafinha.
Let's see.
It's
this
David
one
De Gea.
is very important.
Very, very important penalty. Rafinha, pressure kick and pressure scores.
And 3 it goes. From now on, Brazil cannot miss a single penalty.
They have to score, and it's Bruno Fernandes, Manchester United's penalty taker extraordinaire, and he scores to prove that point.
He scored.
And
the difference is 1.
The difference is only 1, but this will be...
If Jose makes it, we have a 3rd match.
This will be a deciding penalty. If scored, we are going to game 3. It's Frankie de Jong against David De Gea. Scores!
And he scores. And he scores. And we have a 3rd match. And you know what? Today, all of the matches that were best of 3, in all of the matches, we went to the 3rd match.
Well, such is the level here that you would expect. Such is the level. It's exactly what you would expect from both teams. You'd expect, or even all 4 teams that we saw today, you'd expect a game 3 from everybody, because that is the level we're at. And of course, we are here with 2 countries and 2 teams who are the world's best. In Jose, in Foot for 10, you have 2 outstanding players of eFootball, and as we said, if we could take both of them with us, folks, we would. Unfortunately, one of them has to go.
And how do you prepare this last match? If you were either of them, you know that everything goes in just 1 match. There is no more second opportunities. There's no more revenge. Everything comes to 1 match.
If it comes to 1 match, you're going to have to hold your nerve. As we'll see in the highlights here, you're going to have to hold your nerve. You're going to have to be defensively sound. It doesn't matter about necessarily the attack. You need to be defensively sound. We saw the outside of the box shot there from Frankie de Jong. And you can see that these chances for Spain were there in the game. Of course, the game in regulation finished 0-0, which again is a needle in a haystack. It's that rare within esports, within eFootball, that even I looked at you very, very weirdly and said, "Well, it's a 0-0. What's the goal? Where's the goal?" But chances were here, and chances went by the wayside. Then it came to penalties, and it was almost a role reversal. The first penalty shootout that we saw, where Brazil could not get their act together in terms of penalty kicks. As you'll see, Alanga forced into a save. You'll see Lewandowski trying to extend the lead as he did, and there was some very calm penalties from Spain, and with Ronaldo, roof of the net, and finally got himself on the sheet there. But again, it was Rafinha made it 3-1. I think that was the real difference maker in the shootout. As you see, Fernandes scores, and then it was the key one there from Frankie de Jong. The Flying Dutchman managed to put away the final penalty.
And also, by now, the other thing is that would you count on a penalty shootout because it was 1 for each? I don't know.
Well, if the form book goes with it, as we'll take a look at the stats, if the form book suggests it, penalties will be called for in game 3. That seems to almost be the thing. But if you look there, interestingly, the stat that was there was 1 shot on in anger, let alone on target. It wasn't on target, and you can see on the left-hand side, bottom-hand side of your screen, you can see 4 saves forced by Brazil's goalkeeper. And then as a result, that kind of shows you that Spain were the aggressor there. If you were, if it was a boxing fight, you'd be looking to a decision by the judges. They'd win on points, and rightfully so that they kind of took that one away, because as we saw in the first game, their penalties were not great at all.
No, not at all. So by now, perhaps the Brazilian players was thinking, if we go to penalties, this is done. This is easy for me. Well, it's not that case anymore. One penalty shootout for Spain, one penalty shootout for Brazil. We're going to the third match. Everything happens now.
Exactly, it does. And before we get to that,
Yes.
of course, we've got to make sure that, of course, all of the people who you have seen across here in terms of all of our players, our partners and sponsors, and everything that you can see here has been made possible by, in terms of at the 14th. I can't believe it's been 14 of these.
14th.
How they've only had me for
Yes.
one, I'm not sure. 14th World Esports Championships has been supported by wonderful Indonesia, Kemen Porter, NOC and Kony. And thanks to our sponsors, I'll let you run.
JHL Group, the JLJ Auto, the Nusa Pay, the DAS, Gungdan Crypto, Pertamina, Taiwan Excellence, Hydro Coco, IndyHome, Telkomsel, HIN, Episode Hotel, Meruzaka Nuadua, Mineski Global, Indonesia Football, E-League, ESID, and Lemon ID.
And then, of course, in terms of our media partners, we've got Net TV, Trans2Ju, Deticom, Esport ID, Video.com, Dunia Games, Dens TV, Dens Play, Metaputia, Bola Score, and Kami Biak.
Thanks to all of them, and thank you especially for being there. Thank you for sharing these streams, for subscribing to each channel in order to always be there, never miss a match. And of course, if you didn't done it yet, please put your notifications on, because we're coming with even greater matches every day.
And you'll never know what time we start as well, folks, because again, you'll need those notifications on to find out about these types of games. And of course, who wants to miss Spain versus Brazil in a best of three, a final game, and it goes to a decider, and it goes to the winner of this match going through to the main event finals.
This is the most important one of the day.
I can only imagine that there are audiences within this resort, mind you. There will be players that were watching this to look and analyse a gameplay and trying to pick out essentially, if they're in the next round, who do we go against? How do they play? And more importantly, some nations may actually be looking to educate themselves in terms of, well, actually, here's some tips that we can pick up, because, again, as we've said, these two players, two of the very best on the planet at this moment in time. So if you are looking to pick up lessons, folks, grab a paper and pen and sit down and take a look and analyse on what you can see, because you might see stuff that me and Fredita may even not see.
Why not? Why not? Or get a VHS tape and put record on your VCR. Doesn't work that way anymore?
Not no more. Not no more.
Excuse me.
But of course, we are here. With all jokes and all laughter aside, there is a very serious nature of this game.
Of course.
In terms of as we spoke about before, we touched on this game at the start. Two fan bases that are massively passionate about football.
Yes.
Two massive nations that are massively passionate about their esports. So, for Spain and Brazil, this is the last chance saloon. You are the last person. The bell has gone at the bar for time, and now you are waiting to see who's the first one out the door. And I think here we're looking at just how important this can be. And of course, every little change that can be made will be made. Every little tiny, minute thing, as much as you may look at it and think, well, that won't do anything, Wes. Well, do you know what? To these players, it means everything. To make these little changes,
of course,
every little thing will count to these guys. Here
so
is
once
Fred.
again, it's Barcelona with the dark shirts, that would be Spain. Brazil with the white shirts with the Manchester United.
Here is Ousmane Dembele. So it is Spain from left to right and Brazil from right to left. You are just joining us. This is delicately poised. This is 1-1 in a best of three. The winner of this match will go through to the main finals eliminator, where 7 other nations are awaiting them. And I'm sure that those guys will be very much actively viewing this wherever they may pick this stream up, whether it be on Twitch or on YouTube.
Yesterday we saw some players here at the hotel looking at the stream in their phones.
Yeah.
Because, you know, everything is important to watch your next rival, to see what he can make. Every detail, every little detail, as Wes has said a minute before, perhaps they see something that nobody else sees, or the other way around. Perhaps they can benefit on something that we comment and they didn't see before. So here we are, for Spain, Brazil, Brazil, Spain. There's just room for one of these teams.
There can only be one that goes through to this main finals eliminator, and again, it's delicately poised. It's like you're going into a china shop with a ball. You don't want to touch anything in case something gets knocked over, and this might just be one of those occasions where everything hits the floor, because right now this is anybody's, and it really is. I can't underestimate, or I just repeat myself, I can't understate, should I say, just how important this game is to both players.
So here we are, this 0-0.
Here we go. It looked like it was going to go through to Ronaldo, but Spain will recover the ball. Spain looking to drive forward. Pedri to Dembele, to Lewandowski, on towards Ousmane Dembele. He has Harry Maguire for company. Dembele, though, has runners. As you can see them all pointing themselves out at the top of the screen there. You can see 3 or 4 players all with their hand out to say, give me the ball. They want the ball, and they want it in the Brazilian penalty box, but the Brazilian defence will say, no, we don't want that anywhere near us, and they will try their own counter-attack here. Here's Bruno Fernandes. Fernandes had an opportunity to maybe play Rashford in there. He tried to go one more outside, and instead Ansu Fati recovers the ball. Here's Zaid. Ball goes wide to Ansu Fati. Ansu Fati to Frankie de Jong. Memphis Depay. Frankie de Jong. It's cleared away by Harry Maguire. Bruno Fernandes. It's Frankie de Jong who intercepts it. Takes the ball away. Here is Pedri. Pedri looking forward. He has Lewandowski in support. If he uses it, he will do. He's got Memphis Depay potentially at the back post if he wants to use him. Lewandowski, though, smartly plays it back to Dembele. Double touch there. He's driving into the box. We've seen double touches before from Jose. Whoa. Taken down there.
Whoa.
Surely that was a penalty, but the ref plays on. Bit of controversy there in terms of the referee, but
once
the ball
again,
is still there.
Is Jose the one proposing the calls?
He certainly
trying
is.
to attack?
He certainly is trying to attack as Robert Lewandowski. The ball was lifted over, but just not quite enough.
Brazil is focusing more on the defense side, because he knows that on the counter-attack, on the long run, he may have 1 or 2 chances. This is the typical match between a team that attacks, that proposes, that tries, and another one that stands back, wait.
Yeah, it's a very, very, very finely poised game here as Dembele looks to make his way into the box once more. Speed boost a little bit out of the way there is Pedri. Looks to double touch, plays it, ball inside. It's Ousmane Dembele. Chance! A goal!
And I think it's fair. You know
Robert
what?
Lewandowski.
I think it's fair, my friend, because there was just one team trying to make a goal. There was just one team trying to play the ball, to look for opportunities. The other one was really cagey, just expecting, just letting the minutes go by. So I think it's fairly enough. 1 goal for Spain, 0 for Brazil. Look at the chat.
Brilliant, brilliant play. It's that reverse ball inside pass, and a little bit of fortune, might I add, is that strike, it looked like it was going to go in the corner, but I'm not quite sure if it was. And instead, you see a big deflection there that Rafael Varane will take care of. But
I think
in this moment,
without the deflection, the ball was going to the net anyway.
But in this moment, it's that element that you described.
Yes.
You need that little bit of luck, but the skill that went with it beforehand cannot be underestimated.
Now, how do you help the luck now? I mean, you are on Jose's feet. What do you do?
If I'm Jose, I mean, looking at it, you kind of go as you were, because you're in control of the game. You don't necessarily need to make any changes. You're the one that's gone the goal up. Again, you're going to be confident in your gameplay. You've certainly took the lead, but you've got to be careful of what's going on behind you, and you've got to be not so risky in defence. So I would almost be a little bit British about it, and I'd start clearing the ball as and when I need to. Or you could potentially increase your lead, which might be on the cards here. Lewandowski slides it across the box. What an opportunity that was. That's a fantastic save.
So what I think is that he must attack even more, because what we've seen on previous match is that when he returns to his goal, when he relegates, is that okay? No.
Yeah, no, we'll take that.
When he relegates to his field, he's more vulnerable than when he's attacking. Perhaps his defense is not as good as his attack. So why would you go to your goal if you can keep attacking?
Yeah, good point. And apologies, relegates is not the correct word. Retreats is the word you're looking for. It's
Okay.
Rashford makes it way in, and it's offside.
In
Obviously,
Spanish, is relegar.
yeah. So of course, as you may be aware, English is not Ferreira's first language.
Of course.
But absolutely, you've done a sterling job so far,
Thank
my
you
friend.
very much, my friend. I'm trying to get my ideas across the translation, the Fierita translation.
We'll get Ferreira translate. That's what we'll get for you. That's where you see Memphis Depay looking to make an inroad. Goes for a stunning strike, and keeper, it was looping, but De Gea was okay, and he managed to get both hands on it.
So
but time will tick on.
As long as he keeps attacking, he has no risk.
Well, the greatest thing you can do to an opponent when you're a goal up is take the ball away from them. You don't give them the opportunity to come back and get an equaliser. So this is where Jose needs to go into that kind of defensive locker and just make sure that he's absolutely pinpoint. But also, in attack, in possession, you need to use the ball. You need to hold the ball. You need to make sure that you don't allow Brazil to counter-attack. But of course, if you're Brazil and you're chasing the game, every time you get that ball, you need to not panic. You need to stay calm. You need to then make your passes as we go to half-time.
Half-time is over, so it's 1-0 for Spain. I think it's a fair result.
I think so far, in the balance of the game, yes, absolutely. I mean, you can see there, no shots allowed for Manchester United and for Brazil. So it is a stifled first half from Spain. They are frustrated and they have got their goal. And as we said about changing your game or fitting your game plan or making sure that your game plan is the one that people are playing to, Brazil, we've seen no skill moves. We've seen no real super cancels or dribbles at this point because, again, the issue is to try and get the ball forward for them. They're not necessarily thinking of... They're thinking of just getting the ball forward.
Now he's changing his formation. He's putting 3 people on the forward. Let's see how this goes.
Yeah, that is
Jose starts taking his people a little bit
back, but you can see there as well what the design is. The design there is to pack the midfield. It's to pack the midfield, try and get hold of the ball and start to play good e-football. The issue is, though, is that when you've got players that are set to AMF, or as attacking midfielder, for those of you who may not be well versed in e-football, that means that their first port of call and their first ideas are to think about going straight forward. So maybe a little bit defensively vulnerable now, especially playing 3 at the back as well. You've got all of these players that are going to be going forward, but you can see it's like almost like a 3-4-3 diamond that's come into play on the right-hand side of your screen for Brazil. Meanwhile, Spain, of course, looking to just man-mark players and ensure that they've got everything they need to start closing players down.
Man-marking once again.
And they will choose their man-marking wisely here as well. They'll pick particular players to go and take on. For example, they're man-marking in AMF. They're man-marking in AMF. They're man-marking strikers. They're man-marking players that are, they would suggest, would be dangerous. But, of course, everybody is a danger within e-football as we see the ball go forward. And Araujo take it clear. Dembele to Pedri. Lewandowski occupying a right-hand side role, which, again, it's a neat little tactic to have because you have your attacker out wide or your wide man who can link play on the right-hand side of the field as Harry Maguire gets the better of Ousmane Dembele.
So for those of you tuning in right in, this is the final match. Whoever wins this match is going to the finals.
They are indeed. There's an offside call for Spain. Just offside.
Everything comes to half a match.
Everything is. It's down to these last... we got 51 minutes on the clock here. It's going to be another 40 minutes of in-game play. But as we said, the longer this ball stays in play, the quicker that clock will tick down and the more pressure that will be added. Here's Ansu Fati. Ansu Fati looking down the line here. What can he do? It's against Casemiro. He's turned inside. Ansu Fati does a double touch, but Donny van der Beek will take it clear, and he's got the deflection, which means that they have won the ball back for a goal kick.
So here we are once again. This is the last match For today, we are looking for the final team that will pass into the final round of 8 that we will start playing tomorrow.
Absolutely.
In search of the great final.
And it's not over yet as Bruno Fernandes finds Anthony Martial. And that is one of those brilliant pieces of skill. Not only is it the double touch which takes away this opportunity here, but it's the ability of knowing that a goalkeeper has gone manual. One of the best things that I have learned over the course of the years is that against a manual goalkeeper, the minute you see it get selected, or the second that you see it, it's shoot as hard as you can. And again, it sounds stupid, it sounds silly, but those at home who are playing eFootball, give it a try. The next time you see that happen in gameplay, have a shot at the near post or have a shot on goal the minute you see it selected and see how it goes, because at the moment, we're back to level.
If we go stereotypical, these players have switched.
Yeah, they have once more. Yeah,
their passports, because Brazil plays like usually Spanish players
and
used
Spain
to play,
are playing like Brazil.
and Spain is playing like usually Brazil players used to play, with a great attack but not so great defense. The minute he loses the ball, the minute he's in danger.
Yeah, and he's back in danger once more here. Here's Marcus Rashford. Rashford's got men in the middle. He's got Ronaldo, one of them. It's ricocheted away for a corner.
Oh,
Very, very close indeed. Very, very, very close.
So remember, we are not having any extra time. If this game ends tied, we go to the penalty shootout. I hope it doesn't get that far. I hope some of these two players may win on the field, because I consider it more fair.
Oh, yeah, you'd want it settled in regulation.
Yeah.
You know, you'd want it settled across a 90-minute game. That's what we would want. But obviously what you want and what you get are two very different things. And the issue with it, of course, as well, let's just point something out here. Brazil changed their game plan to 3-4-3 to chase the game.
Yes.
They've scored, and they're still playing 3-4-3.
Okay.
They still want to go for this. So you may get your wish. We may get a late charge. We may get a late goal. We could get a multitude of scenarios. Again, we'll find out in the next 25 in-game minutes which scenario we're going to get as Fernandes does to put that one into the box. Punch clear by the goalkeeper. Depay collides as he heads it away. Big collision, but Harry Maguire will recover it. Rafael Varane, Brazil, through ball to Ronaldo. Great instep there by Araujo. It's cleared away here. Here's Anthony Martial, Donny van der Beek. It's cleared away by Spain. Here is Gavi. And you'll pardon us if we go a little bit quiet on the commentary team. We are engrossed in how this is going to happen.
Yes, of course.
It's the attention on this and the attention to detail is of another level. Here's Frankie de Jong to Ferran Torres.
And here comes Spain.
And here comes
Spain. He needs one goal.
He needs one, but it's waste.
Any of them, both of them are willing for just one goal.
You've got to think that one goal would seal it, given the level of play we have seen so far. It's Rafinha.
You remember the say, el que hace el gol, gana.
The one who makes the goal wins.
Exactly,
Indeed.
that's it.
Indeed.
That's it.
Here's Bruno Fernandes, blocked off by Frankie de Jong. De Jong plays it forward to Pedri.
And today
away by
is
Casemiro.
That more than ever, the one who makes the goal
normally wins the game. As Riyad will take that ball clear. He was very close to giving it away, and Rashford would have had players on to help him. As Rafinha looks to maraud down that left-hand side. Depay, Rafinha with the driven cross into the box. It's cleared away by Harry Maguire. And here's Marcus Rashford. Lets it roll through his legs, but again, Wade is there to take it away. Here is Rafinha once more. Takes a speed burst. Does something a little bit different. It's what maybe will be the order of the day here if Jose can win this game. He wins a free kick, though.
A very interesting free kick.
May lead to a goal-scoring opportunity if it can be worked correctly. The plays that you see for the set pieces, they're only as valuable as if you can make them count. That's
true.
So as much as it is, we've got 9 in-game minutes left, plus a little bit of stoppage time. You can see
I can't
Rafinha.
believe this goes to a penalty shootout.
I'm hoping it doesn't. I hope we get a winner. Not to think that I wouldn't be happy seeing a penalty shootout, but you'd love to see a game winner here.
Of course, but these guys are a little bit conservative, I must say.
They are, certainly at this point, but this goes to show you the level of what we are looking at, because again, I'm looking at your papers here, and we've seen maybe 5 or 6 goals over the course of nearly 3 games.
Yes.
Which is,
yes,
again, tells you the level and the caliber of what you are seeing here. Is Anthony Martial.
And how these guys love their defense.
They certainly do, but Martial looking to break that defense, but unfortunately, he has given the ball away, and Memphis Depay to Rafinha. Memphis Depay, and he's been tricked by the oh, that's cynical. I was about to say, Brazil trigger the offside trap. They get caught. Rafinha goes through, and again, if that happened in my house, there'd be words said. That's a very cynical challenge, but it's one that needs to be made. But critically, Rafael Varane has been sent off.
He sacrificed one player for a goal.
You've got 4 minutes to go.
Yeah, I
so
think
how much damage is that going to make? The only thing I'm thinking about is there's only three at the back. As Rafinha gets blocked off in the challenge there. But if there's 3 players at the back and one of them was your centre back and they've been sent off, it now means that there's a big gap there. But is there enough time for Spain to try and exploit it?
I don't think so. He was cucked again of the offside. When you have one less defender, it's even easier to have people.
And you'll see there Casemiro being instructed as an auxiliary.
And Bruno Fernandes as well.
And Bruno Fernandes. So it's everybody back here.
Yes.
So again, if you were wondering what was the game plan in the early going, we certainly know what the game plan is for the last 10 minutes, or the last 5 minutes of the game.
It's hugging the penalty shootout.
Exactly. Everybody get back, because we need defenders and we need them in abundance. And as a result, and you can see Malacia coming on there, but you can see
Casemiro
as a centre-back. And I know I've seen Casemiro play centre-back in real life. I'm not sure what he's like in terms of eFootball, but he's not too bad he's not too bad of an auxiliary defender that you would call upon. You see checking of stats, and I would imagine that during practices and scrimmages, these guys may not necessarily be used to going down to 10 men, so that's why you might be seeing the checking of stats to make sure that they are the right types of players to bring on. Because ultimately, if you have a game plan, you have your set substitutions that you'll bring on, ultimately, if this will kind of almost be a shock a little bit.
But, there is very little time.
There is indeed. There is very little time on the clock, but as you said before, when you've seen very late kind of tactical tweaks and substitution, why would you do it so late? Every second on that clock will count for them, and that is true of any of the games we've seen. We've seen it with Brazil against the Netherlands in terms of that last-minute goal from Choupo-Moting. That was their header to beat the Netherlands 3-2 in the first game. We've seen every second count for Spain, especially when they're playing against Thailand and trying to find their way through the first game, but then they managed to complete a demolition job in the second. Now we've got, 3 in-game minutes plus a little bit of stoppage time, and you can see, again, full concentration is on both of those faces. Here is Cristiano Ronaldo. Koundé intercepts it.
He will try the last one.
There is one more chance here, potentially 3 minutes added on. Here's
Memphis Depay.
Memphis Depay. Can he go all the way here? Still Memphis Depay. Slides to try and take the pass. Harry Maguire will take the ball away. Pedri puts the block in.
I think we're heading for the penalty shoot.
I think we could be. And 3 games.
Jose is blowing.
There's 3 games that will potentially go to penalties. 3 games where players cannot be separated in regulation time. Again, hasten to make the point. It's just how much they can't be separated. But Anthony Martial may try and separate himself, but Araujo wins the challenge. And now
penalty shoot
we have a penalty shootout. We kind of alluded to it beforehand because we saw 2. We said, well, I don't think either one of these players can be separated within regulation. It will probably go to penalties again here. And as the kind of the tail of the tape, you'll see there, 1 shot and 1 goal for Manchester United.
Well,
that was all they required.
How little they attack.
And here comes Memphis Depay to start the penalty shootout. Now this has got every piece of drama, every piece of tension. Depay against De Gea. Depay, it's saved in the earliest penalty. It is Brazil with the save. No emotion because they know the job is not finished. Either team, they know that Spain will know that they can still get back in this. Brazil will know they can press home the advantage. Martial, saved! And that's why we always see almost the poker faces as a wry smile from Brazil, knowing that they made a
why
little bit of an
are
error.
always the first penalties the one that missed?
Because there's always more tension behind that first penalty as Ferran Torres looks to shape to shoot. Great finish there from Ferran Torres, which makes it 1-0 to Spain in the penalty shootout. How will Brazil respond? It's Ronaldo. Ronaldo saved!
And now
it is advantage
Spain
Spain.
Is one penalty ahead.
They are indeed, if they can press it home. And they also critically are taking penalties first in this shootout. Rafinha shapes up to take the shot, makes it 2-0, which puts all of the pressure onto Brazil.
Yes. Would you prefer starting in the shootout or coming in second?
I would prefer to start. It would put a little bit more pressure on my opponent. It's Bruno Fernandes. Will that pressure tell? It's a brilliant penalty.
Excellent.
Right into the side netting of the goal.
Excellent.
No keeper in the world will stop those. And we are to 2-1 here. Yeah, you'd want to be in this type of position. You'd want to be box seat. You'd want to be the guy who's starting this off as Gavi looks to take a penalty and scores just about. You can see the reaction from Brazil. You can see they were...
Because he knows
he could have just got a hand to it, and instead Gavi had too much power, and that's why you put full power on those penalties.
This may be the last one.
This could potentially be.
If Spain saves, he goes by to the next series.
Against Inaki Peña, and he's found the net. Has the Brazilian.
One more goal.
And now, this is why it's so important to probably take your penalties first, because if you're in this type of position, this is game point for Spain. It's Frenkie de Jong. Frenkie de Jong. It's Netherlands v Spain in nationalities. And it's goal! And you can see the relief.
Español, español, español. Eu soy español, español, español.
What a war that was between those two. We were treated to a fantastic
match.
Fantastic game. And you can see the relief. It's nice, again, as we said, Alex Alguacil there to back up his Bayern Munich teammate in Jose.
And former opponent.
Again,
I remember those classic Spanish.
Sometimes the best opponents make the best of friends. And that is fantastic to see. It's a commiserations to Brazil. They have been fantastic through all of the games that we've seen. Commiserations to them. They go out at this stage, but now we know our final 8. We have our 8th participant, and it is Spain.
It's Argentina.
It's Argentina. It's Saudi Arabia. It's Iraq. It's Turkey. You've then got, who else we got? I'm trying to think of. We've got Indonesia to come in the host. Mexico and Serbia.
So we have only 2 Spanish-speaking competition. 3 Spanish-speaking competition. 1 from Spain, 2 from America.
Yeah,
it's we've also Mexico and Argentina.
We've got Arab nations in the form of Iraq and Saudi Arabia, and of course we've got Europeans in the case, of course, of Serbia and Spain and Turkey. So it's an eclectic mix for the final, which I absolutely love. As we look at the highlights here, so many good things to look at, and there was that opportunity. It's that slice of luck that we said that you needed. That ball looked like it was going wide. It got deflected in by Rafael Varane. And of course, big save that was there. Again, it was deflected. It wasn't too much there. But in terms of game 3, you could see the ball started to move. The ball started to switch. It was that double touch and then brilliant finish again. As soon as you see a manual goalkeeper, just hit it near post and try and get that where. And instead, what we saw here, penalties are, as we said, they're a chance, especially when you're offline.
Yes.
When you're online, you have the guide at home, so you can go, oh well, I can point it with the guide, that big circle, that blue circle you may have seen in previous games. Well, I can just put that wherever I want. But because these guys are playing offline, you can't see that circle, because if you put that circle on, your opponent can see it too.
Exactly.
And that in itself is that little bit of gamesmanship. So of course, it all went to feel, it all went to power, placement, and brilliant penalties that were there from Barcelona. And again, it was this last one, and it was that man again, Frenkie de Jong, that makes you just squeeze it past David De Gea.
So, do you think this was fair. It was justice served.
I think the balance of play and on the balance of what we have seen, I think Spain did enough. They found that mentality that we've spoken about. We've spoken about championship DNA, all of those years of experience, and that's not to say that Fute Facil is not an experienced player, a very high-level player. But again, all of those situations that Jose may have ever been in before in previous competitions, as you said, in competitions where he's played against the likes of Alex Alguacil, where he's played against regional finalists, he's played against Etorito, he's played against the likes of Usmakabil. He's got all of those situations to call upon and go, right, I'll go into the memory bank here and I'll pull that that memory card out and I'll go, yep, that's where I need to be.
I think that he suffered a lot in order to win this play-in bracket, because he had to go through a lot, and sometimes that's because he's a little bit too conservative on just making one goal, and from that on his game changes.
Yeah, it's almost like a retreat. It's like at one point you'll score a goal, and then all of a sudden you'll see just start to creep backwards. When in reality, actually, just needs to stay on the front foot. Stay on the front foot. Keep going. We know the abilities of you, Jose. We know, and I'm addressing him almost formally on the camera. We know the abilities of you, Spain. We know the abilities of you, Jose. Keep that flow going. If you have the ascendancy, make it pay. Make those chances count. Because again, as clinical finishers go, it's one of the very best.
Yes, and the penalty shootout is for sure one of the more unfair ways to win and lose a tournament. In this case, I think that the coin flip went a little bit on the fair side, and he was the one proposing more on this last bracket, these last 3 matches. So for a small amount of poetic justice, I think he deserves his place on the best 8. So we are almost getting to the end of this day of broadcasting here live from Bali. We are enjoying very much. So from tomorrow on, there's no more second chances.
No, it's win or be out. That's the reality you're in, ladies and gentlemen. If you're one of the 8 nations here, you've got to bring your A game. Your A game is the thing that will get you through. And again, of course, we will be here to tell you guys all about it. We'll be here to tell you everything that is happening. And of course, we will be back in this wonderful air stage as we've had here.
And you can contact us over Twitter. We were both answering yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we'll be answering today at
Weather FC is on Twitter.
And at Fierita Catalano, that's me. You can find us. Whatever thing you want to know about this tournament, we will be more than happy to answer. Of course, IESF official is the account for the competition. You may address them as well. So I think we are reaching to the end.
Yeah, I think so. I think in terms of we now have our 8. We now have everything we need. And I think actually we do. Actually, I've just heard word. We are going to hear from Jose himself.
Whoa.
We're going to hear from him once more. So it'll be Brenda, over to you.
Finally, we have the winner, and give it up to Spain! But before that, I would like to thank you to our amazing casters. But before we call it a day, I would like to ask some questions for you. How does you feel to be a winner for this loser bracket?
Well, I'm really, really happy because I think I deserve to be on the top 8 finals. The comeback with the loser bracket was awesome because there were 3 big players, and even I'm sorry for Brazil, GG. He also deserved to be in the grand final, but I think he will come back stronger.
Yeah, I hope so for Brazil also. But tomorrow you are going to do the match for the Big 8, right? Yeah. Okay. Could you please tell me what is the strongest team that you beware of?
We are the 8 best teams, the 8 best countries, but everyone can be the favorites. There are also surprises there, but for me the favorites maybe they are Serbia, Mexico, and Argentina, probably.
Serbia, Mexico, and Argentina. Okay, so once again, congratulations for you. But before that, you are in Bali since what date?
I don't know. There are too much days here, but I think it's just 1 week ago. So there are like 4 or 5 days remaining, and I'm enjoying a lot this amazing country.
I see. So, do you ever try the Balinese food? And what is your favorite food in Bali?
Well, I'm a bit strange for food, but I think the spicy food here it's special, I think.
I see. But have you ever tasted the babi rolling? In Indonesia, we call it babi guling.
To be honest, I don't know what is.
Maybe you should try later. Okay, once again, congratulations. Hope the best for you guys. And you can go back to your place and have a rest. So finally, once again, we have a winner. And congratulations once again for Team Spain. So this is the end, I think, yeah, for today's match in eFootball. But don't worry, because tomorrow we are going to see again for the match of eFootball. But for all of you guys, don't go anywhere, because after this we are going to see the exciting match from Tekken 7. So once again to all of you, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back in IESF 14 World Esports Championship Bali 2022. See you later.